This is assembly for the Tacx Galaxia T1100 rollers. As you can see, it ships with a pretty small package. 3 rollers, the rails, the base unit itself, the cable that spins the front roller, a hex wrench, 6 screws, and 6 washers. And that's all it takes to assemble this unit. I'm going to show you assembly on this unit. To begin assembly, just take your 2 track pieces and stand them up. Kind of go ahead and get them side by side like this, and then you're going to take your rollers and you're going to put those in the 3 slots found here, here, and here. Just remember, as you set your second hub into place, that you go ahead and put the rubber band on. You can just leave it loose like this for a second and just let that sit there while you get all your pieces into place. So once you have your rollers looking like this, you can go ahead and start the assembly. Basically, you're just going to take a screw. It's got some conical washers. So take your screw and your washer, just tighten those into each one of the rollers. What I do is I get them all in there, but don't snug them up until they're all in. Keep in mind while you're assembling these rollers that the axles spin independently of the drum itself. So while you're turning one side, you may have to hold the other side with a second wrench. Mine did include 2 wrenches, so you may have to hold this side while you turn this side. Make sure you don't do what I did the very first time and forget to put your rubber band on the front roller as well as you're assembling. So you want your rubber band on the roller in the front of the rear 2 rollers, and then going up to the front roller. They're going to fall right here in these tracks eventually once you get this stretched out. But for now, mine's just going to sit loose while I finish getting this assembled. Alright, so your assembled roller should look something like this. I went ahead and tightened up all the screws on both sides of the drums. I've got the rubber band on. You can see it going down the right side of the rollers here. Goes back to the front of the rear 2 drums. Properly. And that's pretty easy, honestly. If you don't forget to put the rubber band on, it takes well less than 10 minutes to assemble these rollers. They're very lightweight, and because they collapse, just by basically flipping the levers in and then compressing the unit, you can store this underneath a bed in just a matter of minutes. Let me show you how small it is folded up. So here's how small the unit is once you have it folded up. This is as small as it will get. It'll easily store into a closet, roll it underneath a bed, and then you can get it back out. Alright, since the Galaxia manual is kind of thin on actual instructions, it just has a few pictures of how to set this up. I want to talk to you about how to adjust this for your proper bike length. Basically, all the levers here are for is to have this lock into the position that you determine where it needs to be. But to do that, you actually have to flip this unit over, and you'll notice on this back side here, on this track, there's a little indentation spring here that pops into this hole. So the length of your rollers is going to be determined by where in the cassette. There's 7 positions this little indentation spring is set. So basically the first step you want to do is measure your bicycle, and you're going to measure that from the center of the front axle to the center of the back axle. And let me show you that here in a second. Alright, so what you're actually going to do here is, you don't have to have the bicycle already on the rollers, of course. I'm just showing you for example. What you need to do is measure between the your dropouts from the front axle to the rear. So just take a measuring tape, put that right in the center, measure straight back. And on my wife's bike I get 38.5 inches, which translates to 978 millimeters. So in the Tacx manual here, on this last page, there's a chart. 978 millimeters shows that the little cassette needs to be in position 7. The little pin needs to be in 7. And what that's going to do is make the whole roller setup as short as it can be for my wife's bike's wheelbase. Now, having said that, I'm using an optional add-on, the front wheel stand for my wife. She rode the rollers last night for the first time. She did a good job, but she's definitely a little more comfortable right now having the front wheel fixed. So I bought the Antares wheel stand and set that up. But what I found was, once I put that on, it actually I had to move the pin in the cassette to position 6 instead of position 7. So I actually extended the frame just a little bit, and then you can actually slide this back and forth just a little before you bolt it into place to meet whatever rake the fork has or whatever. I think there's enough play there between the cassette and the adjustments up here that you can match almost any wheelbase. So as you can see, we've got this set up right now for my wife to ride this trainer just like a typical trainer would be, instead of a set of rollers. And of course, to convert it back to rollers, all I have to do is remove the 4 bolts, and it's back to a roller system. Okay, so to adjust this track, what you have to do is push these buttons in and slide this cassette out, and that's going to let you adjust the length of this overall in case you have different bike lengths. The manual will tell you to measure your wheelbase, and then it will give you a range from 1 to 7 as to where this needs to be. So to move this, what I do is I use a screwdriver to depress this button, and then take a flathead and start to get the cassette out, and then you can grab it with your fingers and start to slide it, and you have to push the button in every time at the hole. It's a spring-loaded button until you get it all the way out. So this cassette has 7 positions. This is the shortest wheelbase position, that's position 7. This is the furthest, longest wheelbase position, is position 1. And basically what it is a metal detent with a spring. So you got to be careful when you pull this all the way out. This spring can actually launch this out of here a little bit. So what you're going to do is just move it to the position that fits the wheelbase for your bike. You put the spring in, then put the little metal detent in, and then slide this back into the rail. And you have to use like a flat-headed screwdriver to depress it while you're sliding it in. And then start to slide this in using the screwdriver to press it in until the cassette is all the way in. After you've got these adjusted to the wheel base length, what you'll do is you're going to go ahead and slide the frame back out until this part pops up in here. So just grab your rollers and pull them until they pop into place here and here. And once they pop into place securely, you can go ahead and close these levers back, and now you're ready to flip the unit back over, and it should match the wheelbase of your bike.